Good afternoon, and welcome to the Bitter Knitters Podcast, TV Attack Edition. My name is Jacqueline, and Justin's here.
Hello, how's it going?
Good. I forgot to say the date. It is Sunday, April 15, 2018. Little hungover.
Just a little, right?
Just a little.
Just a little.
I don't know if it's hungover so much as just tired because I just woke up. I don't really have a headache or anything.
Oh, that's good. That's good. I had a little bit of a headache. Well, that's okay. So we're going to talk some of our news today. There's some news items, and we'll talk a little bit about our shows. We'll go into Survivor, which we talked about last week, but this was a pretty interesting episode. And then we are going to talk about a couple sitcoms we haven't talked about in a while, Goldberg's and Superstore.
Yay.
But first, Dancing with the Stars announced their cast for this season. Because of the Olympics, I guess, they are doing a shorter season this year. It's only going to be 4 weeks long. And this week they announced who their dancers are going to be, who their celebrities. So
it's all athletes edition.
It's all athletes. It's athletes edition. A lot of them are Olympic athletes. Mm-hmm. Some of them actually, I've heard of most of them. So congratulations. Not a lot of stranger bitches.
I've only heard of a few.
Well, our first one is Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
Yeah, super famous.
And we've all heard of him.
Can you imagine dancing with him? He's so tall.
Later, when you get a chance, you'll have to look up the photo of him and his dancer. It's hysterical. Okay. She goes up to that weird little backbone, that little shoulder, that thing that.
Oh yeah. Your shoulder
it's like
blades.
The very bottom of that, and it looks awkward.
Well, I just remember when he was in the Bruce Lee movie, and when that was such a weird combination of heights, but of course, Bruce Lee kicked his ass.
Yeah. And then we've got Johnny Damon.
Yeah, I don't know who that is.
Who is a baseball player. I believe he played with the Red Sox. I think he was on one of the winning World Series teams. Okay. So yeah, I've heard of him. And our next one is Tonya Harding.
I know she's trailer trash. I think that's why I relate to her. I always root for her.
Yeah. And I feel like she needed to be on a full season, but I'm wondering if they only got her and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar with the promise of it being a shorter season.
Yeah, I mean, let's face it, Tanya's not in the best of shape.
Yeah, and I feel like
it's going to be hard work for her.
Yeah, and I feel like those are both people that should have done the show by now. But I'm wondering if the promise of the shorter season, they're like, sure, let's do it. Not going to be as much time out of my schedule. And you know what? I think I would root for her.
Yeah, me too.
Of course, Adam Rippon, whatever.
Yeah.
The figure skater from this year. Makes sense. Again, I feel like he's one that they probably should have waited a full season for. But his name is hot right now.
He's got a good chance to win.
I think so. Yeah. Here's someone I don't know. His name is Josh Norman. Apparently, he's a football player.
No, I don't know.
No idea who he is. That Mira Nagasu. I'm kind of angry about this one. She
just came from the Olympics.
Yeah, she was one of our figure skaters, one of the United States women's figure skaters, and she's the one that kind of sucked. And she's like, I want to be on Dancing with the Stars. And I'm thinking to myself, no, you are awful. You don't deserve all this attention you're getting. You suck. You brought shame. You brought shame to our country. You are awful. You and that Big Bird looking girl. You should not be on Dancing with the Stars. And here she is on Dancing with the Stars. At least it's only a short season.
Yeah.
But
she might do well, though. She might be better at dancing than skating.
I think she better hope so. Another guy I don't know, Chris Mazur, who was, I believe, maybe at the Olympics this year. He's a loser, so he loses.
What a loser.
A loser. He might be the first one out, and he really will be a loser.
You never know. Maybe he'll surprise us and be the winner.
Could be. You never know with some of these shows. Some of these times you have people coming in that people don't really know about, but then they do so well that they get a following just from this stupid show.
Yeah.
It's happened. Jamie Anderson, who is a snowboarder. I've heard of her.
Not me, but good luck. Okay.
My personal vote is Jenny Finch. She is a women's softball player. She and I went to I didn't know her, obviously, but went to the same college around the same time.
Oh, okay.
Got to see her pitch a couple times. She's fantastic. And she was also a contestant on one season of Celebrity Apprentice. hosted by the annoying
45.
Orange.
45, yes.
45. She did okay on that, I guess. But I don't think she's going to do very well on the show. Most people probably won't know who she is, but I'm rooting for her. Oh my gosh, I cannot say this name. Arike Ogunbowale, who is she played, I don't know if she still is, Notre Dame college basketball.
Okay.
Yeah,
She's another tall person, so maybe her dancer man will be like really short and she'll be really tall.
There's a picture of them. They might be sitting, but they don't look as comically hilarious as Kareem Abdul-Jabbar in his part.
So tall.
So I think there's just 3 I hadn't heard of. 3 out of 10.
Yeah, you did pretty good.
Not too bad.
I think I heard of 3 of the 10.
No, you got 4, right? Because you know who Mariah is, the figure skater.
Yeah.
Adam, Tanya, and Kareem.
Yeah. And I'm sure, because I watched the Olympics, I saw anybody that was in this year's Olympics, I would have seen. I watch every year Olympics, so.
I don't know if Jamie Anderson did this year, but I feel like she's a name that I've heard a lot.
Yeah, that's I think it'll be a good cast.
Yeah.
It'll be interesting to see. I mean, because you don't know how the snowboarders and the luger, how they're going to do, because you don't see them moving like that.
Yeah.
Right? Like, I mean, we know about football players. They tend to be a little, heavy-footed, but, they can do well, too.
Yeah, so it'll be interesting to see what they do, because now that they're all athletes and in the athletic field, you don't have these, random, 90-year-old actress who Cloris Leachman.
So I don't normally watch Dancing with the Stars. I just check Perez Hilton to see who got voted off.
Yeah, I kind of do this. Well, I don't check Perez. I just check another side. I don't read Perez. But I pretty much do the same. I'll see who it is. If it's a really bad dancer, I might watch. But I feel like we haven't had a really bad dancer in a long time. The day of Master P and Cloris Leachman and Steve Wozniak. I think those are the 3 that I remember the most. Those were awesome. Or that old lady on the British version.
Yeah, I saw the old lady. She was just on Celebrity Big Brother.
Yeah, when she did the Titanic. I loved her. Anne Whitcomb.
And she's a racist bitch.
Oh, but she does an amazing Titanic dance. Spoiler alert, she barely danced.
So I think the best chance, just based on this, I'm going to give to Adam. But my hope is Tanya. Or Kareem.
I think Adam's a pretty safe bet. Maybe Mirai. I don't even know how to say her name. I'm if you say Adam, I'll say her. But I think that
she has a good chance of winning too, I would think.
I'm curious to see, are they going to get rid of 2 a week, 1 week, 2 1 week, or how many are they going to have?
Because it's 4 weeks, you said?
It's only 4 weeks.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting.
Well, maybe Tanya will lose weight like Marie Osmond. And it's been, a decade since Marie Osmond was on? She's still shilling her weight loss secrets.
Yeah.
I know your weight loss secret, lady. You went on Dancing with the Stars and worked your ass off.
But with Tanya, she's got a whole lot less time than Marie got.
Yeah.
Marie
but
made
she's
it all
not
the way
as
to
big
the
as
end.
Marie was.
No, that's true. Marie was.
So, 4 weeks of some hardcore dancing where they dance, hours. She could probably get down.
Well, and then they have a week or 2 beforehand where they're training first. So, overall, it'll probably be like a 6-week thing.
Yeah.
So,
that would probably be enough to get her into some good shape.
Not
she
Margot
looks
Robbie
okay.
shape. She looks fine.
Like at the movie premiere, she wasn't, like I said, she's not obese. She just
have you watched Tanya yet?
I watched a bit of it, and then I got tired and bored, and probably went for a nap.
People have told me I should watch it. I have not watched it.
I'll go back, maybe.
Have you heard the latest possible reboot? That's the big trend in 2018 and 2017 is reboot,
if it's the one I'm thinking of.
You have no desire to watch it?
Is it Mad About You?
It is Mad About You.
I never watched it back in the day. Maybe twice.
But you know what? Anything that gives Helen Hunt a job gives Helen Hunt a job. She's in that movie now where she's yelling at volleyball girls.
Oh, okay.
For that movie. Apparently, there's this really good volleyball team, and this girl dies, and now the girls aren't very good, and they're all sad, and she's their coach, and she's like, "You better buck up and do this for the girl that died."
We are Titans.
Yes.
On the volleyball court.
Directed by the same person that did Soul Surfer, so apparently Helen Hunt can only get jobs when it's directed.
New husband?
Probably. She can only get jobs when it's directed by Soul Surfer or when she's surfing.
Yes. When they film this show, if they ever need to do flashbacks, they can hire Lily Sobieski.
Yes. Yes. Who would play Paul Reiser flashback?
Oh, I don't know. A troll doll? I have no idea.
Perfect. We got it.
By the way, my daughter just watched Aliens, and she said she thought that Paul Reiser was hot. Just like loving the old 80s Jewish guys.
We'll just let that sit for a moment of silence. So apparently Helen Hunt and Paul Reiser have signed on to reprise their roles in a possible Mad About You reboot that NBC is looking at possibly picking up for next season.
Now, will they bring? Aren't they divorced? Hank Azaria. Will they bring her ex on?
That's a good question. I don't know. I doubt it. And what's always interesting is that you have these shows of the 90s and the 2000s where they gave themselves like pretty concrete endings. Like we're looking at both Roseanne did that and Will and Grace did that, where we kind of looked at in the future and stuff that happened. And Mad About You did something similar too, where it flashed forward and they were no longer together. And so it's funny now that all these shows are coming back, they all kind of have to like retcon and kind of redo.
Wait a minute, they ended not together?
I'm pretty sure.
That's depressing as shit. I'd be so mad if I was a fan.
That's what I've heard, that's how that ended. That it was like in the future and they weren't together. I could be wrong on that, but You're
probably
sure
right. Oh my god.
Again, I didn't watch that show either. I didn't watch a lot of the must-see TV shows except for A Single Guy starring Jonathan Silverman. Not sure what was wrong with me.
I didn't watch like the 2090s must-see TV. I mean, Friends on and off, and
no Caroline in the City for you.
Maybe a couple episodes here and there. Boston Common, was that theirs? I thought that was a Fox show for some
reason. No, that was clearly a must-see. That was a Thursday night must-see TV NBC show.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I think that's what it was called. The one with that Rocket Man. I think Mike O'Malley was in it.
Yeah, with that weird country bumpkin guy, right?
Yeah, that guy.
Yeah, I watched a few of those episodes. I liked that.
So Mad About You. I just feel like we're getting to a point where I know Roseanne did great numbers and Will and Grace has done okay. But are people really clamoring for more Mad About You? I can't see it.
Yeah, I mean, I know it was on must-see TV, but I don't even feel like people were like, it wasn't like the Cosby Show. It wasn't Roseanne where people, went crazy for it. I always just felt like people watched it because it was on after Friends, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think that's one reason why what must-see TV was like. Watch Friends and then stay for whatever is after Friends.
Yeah.
And then that was it. Then maybe a few more people will come back for Will and Grace, and then whatever's after Will and Grace.
So what sitcom would you want to be rebooted?
Sadly, the first thing I can think of is Hanging with Mr. Cooper, but that can't be my answer. Or Grace Under Fire. That's a good question. What do I want?
I have two answers.
Okay, what are yours?
One that could never happen because both the people are dead, the Jeffersons.
Okay.
I loved the Jeffersons. I'd throw that too also All in the Family. That could never happen in today's TV. People would be way too offended. But that'd be amazing. And Facts of Life.
Oh, that would be good.
Mrs. Garrett's still running that quiche shop with weird, strange, girls living in her attic.
And they gotta like fight on that now because Charlotte Rae's is getting up there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I would watch.
I mean, I guess they could have one of the girls becoming the headmistress.
Yeah, that would work. And you could have Mrs. Garrett on for like a cameo in the first episode.
I could see Natalie being still sad and alone.
Or
she could become the new Mrs. Garrett.
Her and Tootie come together, and she'd be a great Mrs. Garrett, Natalie.
She would. I loved Natalie. She was my favorite, but she had some issues.
Step by Step. It would be called Step by Step by Step.
The Sidewalker. Because they're walkers now.
Well, because now it'll be similar to Roseanne and Fuller House, where not only do you have the parents, but you've got the kids of the kids of the kids coming in.
And it'd be interesting.
Sure.
I liked actually. That's one of the few sitcoms I did like to watch was Step by Step.
Kind of enjoyed Step by Step, and maybe now technology has gotten better, that their CG shore by the roller coaster will actually look realistic. Because that always looked bad.
And if they did My Two Dads, remember that show, My Two
Oh
Dads?
yeah,
That would work now in today's day and age because it could be real two dads that are together and not pretending not to be together like in the old days.
exactly. That would that really could be My Two Dads.
Oh, although it wasn't Paul Reiser on that, I guess he's busy on Mad About You.
He could do both. He could do both. And I think I've talked about the show before, but I would also reboot Sledgehammer, which would be easy to do. It was about this like tough cop. Give him a random son. It can be about his random son.
I remember you talking about that show.
I don't think anybody's ever heard of that show, but I love it. Or if you another show that you could reboot, but one that they gave a definite ending to that they would have to like reverse would be Dinosaurs, where in that finale it was the beginning of the Ice Age, and they were all going to become extinct.
Oh, what a happy ending!
Yes.
At least it didn't end with like a shot of like a comet coming to the Earth. Mom, the future looks so bright. Comet.
The Dinosaurs will return? Never. That was one of those shows that as a kid I feel like I should have liked more than I did. It was kind of hard to watch. I don't know why.
I didn't like it. I found it really annoying.
Yeah. HBO renewed Barry for a second season already.
Oh, nice.
So that's good. And Silicon Valley for a season 6. I feel like that show is going on for a very long time.
I don't know anybody who watches Silicon Valley, but it's been on forever.
I know a couple people that watched it a lot, and I've watched the first couple seasons. It's not bad. It might actually be more watchable now without TJ Miller. I just don't like watching him at all. I don't think he's a very interesting actor.
Yeah.
But you know what? I don't think I have to worry about that much longer.
Yeah, like collision course with his destiny.
So that's good. But yeah, we'll get more of Barry. And yeah, so HBO must have been happy how that did the first.
Good.
Of it. So
good. That's a good little show.
Yeah. Let's see. Did you see what they were saying about Game of Thrones in season 8? That they spent 55 days just shooting one battle.
Yeah, and that wasn't that night shoots or some stuff too.
Was it looked like it was at 3 different locations?
Okay.
But yeah, it was for nights. It was during the night.
Yeah, that's brutal.
And it sounded like there was snow, rain, mud, sheep shit. Oh
my gosh.
in Northern Ireland. So that's a lot. It's gonna be a.
I'm sure that's the winter speculation. Winterfell.
Yeah.
Where else would you have a long battle that you would need 55 days? It's not like you know.
That's
so amazing.
That's crazy. That's a long time.
This is gonna be such a good season if I live to see it. Years from now.
If we ever get a date for it.
Yeah.
Battle of the Bastards and the Loot Train from last season both took about a month to shoot. And especially Battle of the Bastards, that was both of them were huge battle scenes. So imagine this one took twice as long.
Tons of choreography because you're not even just talking about the main actors having choreography. Every person that's in a battle in the background has to have their choreography. It's a lot of work.
It's a lot to do, yeah. Yeah, you got to make sure that everyone, you're right, everyone, even the extras, are in the right place.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's
and every time you shoot, right? Like if you shoot, you're shooting Jon Snow and then you're shooting some random guys fighting. The people behind him have to match up every single shot, or it's people are going to notice, and people will notice in that they watch frame by frame.
Will notice, yeah, especially in days of DVRs and the internet, as it's
And I mean, there's 1,000,001 Game of Thrones channels out there where people analyze every single thing. Trust me, I've been listening.
To all of them. Have you started your Westworld rewatch yet?
I haven't, and I should because it's coming up very soon.
Next week.
Yeah.
So AMC ordered a new series because Walking Dead's on its way out, at least I hope. So now they've ordered some sort of vampire drama from writer Joe Hill based on one of his books, and he's one of the sons of Stephen King. And the name of this is going to be called Nosferatu. It looks like a license plate, and it's called Nosferatu. Yeah, it's stupid. And the reference, which is really lame, or the synopsis, which I think sounds kind of lame, it says, this show centers on Vic McQueen, a young artist who discovers she, again, I guess Victoria, I don't know, discovers she has a supernatural ability to track Charlie Mix, a seemingly immortal villain who feeds off the souls of children and deposits what's left of them in Christmas Land, a twisted Christmas village of Mix's imagination, where every day is Christmas Day and unhappiness is against the law. I don't understand anything that I just read.
Where he takes them is the land from that freaking A
Year Without Santa Claus.
Santa Claus is coming to town with the Burgermeister. Remember where everybody had to wear gray and there's no toys? It was so grumpy. That's where they're taking them to Santa Claus is coming to town.
That just sounds awful. And the fact that they're like ordering a 10-episode series without seeing a pilot. I want to say a pilot if I'm ordering something that sounds that dumb.
Yeah. And she only can track him. No other supernatural beings.
Apparently.
Okay. I mean, I give it a one-shot watch. I mean, I watched a couple of that other show. Can't remember now what it's called.
What I like to say is if I can watch Sirens, I can watch one episode of anything.
True. That's true. You watched 2 episodes of Sirens.
I watched 2 episodes of Sirens.
Even I didn't watch the second episode.
And I think I've lived to tell the tale. This might all be some fever dream where I'm dead, but I think I've lived to tell the tale. Even though
Sirens defeated you.
2 episodes of Sirens. So Star Trek Discovery is casting for season 2. And they're adding Captain Pike to the show. So this is definitely, seems to me, if they're adding a Captain Pike character, they're definitely inching closer to like an actual prequel for the Star Trek series, correct?
Yeah, because Captain Pike was the one just before Shatner's Captain Kirk.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm right. I think I'm right.
Yeah. No, I'm pretty sure that's that. And they are adding Captain Pike is going to be played by Anson Mount. Now, I see the name Anson Mount. I don't know what that means, but apparently it's Black Bolt from Inhumans.
Oh, yeah, that's right. You told me that. I'm like, I know that name.
yeah, because he's Black Bolt from Inhumans.
And I did not know him until Inhumans, so.
No, apparently he did another show, that Hell on Wheels, which I never watched.
I watched, like, maybe a few episodes. Scott started to watch. It was so boring. I did not like that.
It looked really boring. But so at least we can now assume that Inhumans is definitely gone.
Yeah. That's so sad. Not.
No, I don't even think I watched the last episode. It wasn't that bad. I don't think it was as bad as people were making it out.
No, I agree. I watched the whole thing, and it wasn't the worst show. I know a lot of people went on about how bad it was. It wasn't the worst show.
I think it didn't help itself when they premiered the first 2 episodes on IMAX. And especially the first episode was probably one of the weaker ones. And trying to show something made on a TV budget on an IMAX screen, it probably made it look a lot cheaper than it would on a TV screen.
That would have looked cheap in a movie theater. Absolutely.
Yeah,
it would have been like
on a giant IMAX screen. Yeah. That's not good. So I think they hurt themselves that way. But yeah, so it looks like
and they weren't they weren't what's hot. I mean, people are into superheroes. So those aren't really superheroes. You know what I mean? They're aliens or whatever.
They're like a royal family, and they're not. Yeah, which is what. And I think I groaned about this months ago. But Marvel was trying to make them into the next X-Men. X-Men are superheroes. Inhumans aren't really superheroes, and it was never going to work. And people didn't buy it, and now Marvel had to back shuffle and push the X-Men up front again in the comics, which is good because the Inhumans are stupid. Did you see that CBS renewed Mom for season 6?
Oh no, I'm glad. I like that show.
Yeah, I feel like Anna Faris and Allison Janney could probably do more things and better things, but they're probably contracted for 6 or 7 seasons.
Yeah, that's probably the contract. I'm surprised that Allison Janney signed on for so long.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, even when she signed on for that show, she's a super well-known actress.
Oh, yeah.
You know?
And she was nominated
for a lot of work in movies.
A lot of work. She pops up in a lot of stuff. She was nominated this year for her role in I, Tonya, which we mentioned earlier.
Yeah.
She beat Laurie Metcalf, who is also on a sitcom right now on ABC on Roseanne.
Yeah. She's one of the reasons I really watched. I mean, Anna Faris's character is fine, but I really do like the Allison Janney character more. That's who I tuned in for.
Yeah, I don't think I ever watched an episode with Mom, but I like both of them.
Yeah. Yeah, they have a good chemistry together.
Last night I was out, and when I looked up there on one of the TVs in the bar, I guess SNL was on, and they're like, "Oh, next time SNL is new, it's host Donald Glover and musical guest Childish Gambino." I'm like, that seems kind of redundant.
Yeah, so I guess they're two separate beings.
I guess so. On May 5th, which is going to be the next new episode, I think there's only 2, maybe 3, probably 2 episodes left of the season. I feel like those always go so fast.
Yeah.
Donald Glover is going to be the host, and Childish Gambino is the musical guest. Now, he's not going to introduce himself, right?
Who knows? You know, I don't like when people start doing shit like that, because I feel like they're becoming so pretentious and taking themselves seriously.
I kind of agree. And obviously, he's there to promote Han Solo, which comes out that weekend.
Yeah.
Or around that time. No, maybe it comes out later in the month. But whatever. He's there to advertise. Yeah, it comes out later in the month to advertise Solo, which probably needs all the help it can get.
Absolutely. Although they're saying he's one of the better parts of it, right?
Yeah, whenever a new trailer hits, everyone's like, "Oh my God, Lando looks amazing," and "Oh yeah, Solo's in it too." But oh my God, Lando!
They should just made the Lando movie.
Yeah, they probably should have.
I think it'll be okay. Ron Howard, you know, I trust him. He doesn't make a lot of real duds. So
no, it should be fine. The whole situation where he had to come in and reshoot most of the movie, it'll be kind of interesting to see the final product of that. So what's interesting is last night's episode of Saturday Night Live was hosted by John Mulaney, who was a former writer of the show. He was with the show, I think, like 5 years or so. And what's kind of interesting is 2 of the sketches that were on last night's show were ones that he wrote back in either 2009, 2010. They pitched and it never went beyond that.
Are these the ones they were talking about on Seth Meyers that time?
That I don't think though.
Okay.
Seth Meyers does have an ongoing thing where every once in a while he'll bring on, or be similar. Well, he'll bring on somebody who was on the show, and who was on SNL, and they had a sketch they've always wanted to do but was never approved.
Yeah.
And I mean, maybe John Mulaney was talking about these specific ones on Seth Meyers, but yeah, these are ones. There's one in 2010 that he actually wrote with Colin Jost. And it involves a diner, which is interesting. So I think it's kind of funny is that these are sketches that were written almost 10 years ago, and they didn't go very far in the cycle. And then he's hosting. He's like, "Yeah, let's do these."
Oh, there you go.
So they were
host. Yeah, they were okay.
They were okay. The diner one was, I think, better than the other one. But
was 80 in the episode enough?
She was there. She kind of mainly played the straight woman in sketches.
Okay. I like her straight woman, though. I think that's almost as funny. Just for some reason, when she's just talking as the straight woman, I still laugh.
Yeah. She didn't do... Yeah, she showed up, but not as much as she's been in some other episodes. But yeah, she's in a fair amount. More so than, like, all of a sudden I saw Kyle Mooney at one point. I'm like, oh yeah, he's still on the show. Leave.
The only time I think of him is when he like shows up on one of his videos that they do of him.
Yeah, he wasn't in much last night. And there was, you know, who's a weird looking person? Jack White.
Oh, why? Oh, yeah.
He's a weird looking person.
He is. Marley asked me because we were watching one of the videos, and she's like, "Do you think he's hot, Mom?" I'm like, "No, he looks like a scary email Pillsbury Doughboy."
It was really funny. There was one part at the end because you were telling me, we were talking last week about SNL. You were talking about how you like to watch the ending to see who likes who. Well, I was watching that just for fun. I didn't see anything interesting, but at one point I see Beck Bennett. I'm like, oh, Beck Bennett's hugging Jack White. That's cool. And then they unhug. I'm like, oh, that's Cecily. That wasn't Jack White at all.
Oh my God, Jack White looks like Cecily. I haven't seen him in a long time.
Yeah, he's bizarre looking. Not that Cecily's bizarre looking, but he shouldn't look like Cecily. Yeah, he's like so pale and just ooh. And of course, I fast forwarded his musical accent in that. One other thing I want to talk about in terms of news was my favorite clip of the week, which was on Wheel of Fortune.
Oh, I didn't. Oh, I know what you're talking about. Yes.
Where the answer was flamenco dance lessons.
Yes.
And he read the answer, and he read it as flamingo dance lessons.
It wasn't all like spelled out too. It wasn't even like
so.
he had to like fill in the blanks.
Yeah, and he lost $7,000 for that.
Well, that's what you get.
Well, the rule is you need to, and we've seen this before in the past.
Yeah.
You have to pronounce it exactly. If you don't pronounce it exactly, they're not going to give you the credit, and they shouldn't. It's wrong. So for a couple minutes, I just want to talk about our favorite game show blooper, because I know you have one from Family Feud.
Yes. Okay. You want me to say it?
Yes.
Okay, so it was the category was words that follow pork. So like, pork chop, pork loin, and they get to this guy, and the guy says, "You pine," and just Steve Harvey loses it. Like he's just like, "You pine." Right? It was so funny. Like, oh my god, porcupine.
Porcupine. I mean, it works in some weird way that doesn't work, but that's okay.
It wasn't up there.
My favorite thing ever, and I see this clip every time on like game show blooper shows, which I seem to watch a lot of. It is from like the British version of Classic Concentration. And so that's when it's like a rebus puzzle, and they have to reveal. There's like squares hiding a picture puzzle underneath it, and so you see a little bit of the picture when the numbers like go away, and so they have to solve what the picture puzzle is.
Oh, is that the one like I see you?
Yeah, that type of thing. Yeah. In this case, I think it was more. I don't think it was as rebus as Classic Concentrations were, but in a way. So they revealed the thing. You see this like yellow Twinkie looking guy like bobbing up and down, and then you see, and they reveal a new one. He's doing his hat, and then you see another one. There's like it looks like he's being pleasured by a snake. And every time they reveal like a new square, it gets dirtier and dirtier and dirtier.
God.
And their hands are going back and forth, body goes, so it looks so sexual. Ends up being Snake Charmer. You see the snake, and then the guy's supposed to be charming him. And
I remember you sent me that one before. I've seen that on bloopers too. That's so funny.
So funny.
My other favorite one is not very PG. From the Newlyweds in the 70s. What's the strangest place you ever made whoopee? And in the 70s, this lady goes, "Ha ha ha, in the ass." So wrong.
I was watching, I don't know if you noticed this, but a couple weeks ago, we'll talk about Goldbergs. Actually, maybe we'll talk about Goldbergs now. I think it was either 2 weeks ago when he was refilming the Indiana Jones scene.
Yes.
And he was going to that guy I hate with the ponytail, the worst character, who I think the Goldberg producers think we all love because they crammed him in every episode as much as they can. Worst character. Like, why is he on spring break? No!
Maybe that's Adam's son or something.
It might be, because that guy's never going to get any work otherwise. And so Adam goes to this guy, and he's got all these like bootleg videotapes, and one of them says like Newlywed, like in the ass clip or something like that.
Oh, I didn't
so that
notice
was one
that.
of the tapes was the Newlywed in up the ass. I saw that right away. I'm like, oh my god, that's amazing. Gosh. That's awesome. So yeah, let's go ahead and that's I think a classic.
The best segue
you can
get.
Yeah, that's a good segue. But the funny thing about that clip is for the longest time, they tried to pretend like it didn't exist.
Yeah.
And then after a while, they're like, okay, here it is.
Yeah, it seemed like in the maybe the 2000s, they finally admitted that it existed. And the host would talk about it.
Yeah, before then, they wouldn't even say anything, which was crazy. So let's go ahead and talk about the Goldbergs, which is currently in its current season. It's already been picked up for next year, which I have thoughts about. I think it's time. I think it's almost time.
No, never.
So this season, it's been kind of a different season because they've sent Erica, the daughter, is now off in college.
Yeah.
And so Barry's a senior, and Adam is still going through his awkward puberty growing pains.
Yeah.
And the big theme this year has been his mom, Bev, going through her own Bevolution, trying to separate herself from, trying not to be defined by her kids. She's her own person. She's her own strong person.
She knows they're going away soon and she'll have nothing.
Yes. Yeah, so it's her own revolution. Those have been kind of the main themes of this year.
Yeah.
So the episode this week dealt a lot with flash dancing.
It did. They watched the movie. She loved it. She wanted to flash dance. What's wrong with that?
Yeah,
Not the stripping part of flash dance.
Yeah, so her and her, there was kind of an empowerment for them. So her and her Yento friends, whatever they're called.
The Frentas.
The Frentas. Jeff Schwartz's mom, I think that's the one. I didn't realize that's that lady from Austin Powers.
Yeah, I keep looking at her. I'm like, I know her from somewhere.
I did not make that connection until I was looking at the credits this morning when I was watching this week's episode. I'm like, oh, that's the Austin Powers lady.
Yeah, Fräulein or whatever.
Yeah. I never made that connection. So they're all into their dance and they're all into it. And so she shows her family, and her family just laughs at her.
That would be my family, but they wouldn't have waited. They would have laughed at me the minute I started.
And the dad laughed so hard that he like broke a bone or something.
Popped ribs or some shit. Yeah.
Which I actually thought was kind of funny. So that kind of discouraged her, and so she decides not to do her dance, and she then, of course, in the end, what always happens, they realize they're squashing her dreams and want to make her feel good. So she has her thing in the end. But then the other storyline involves Adam's like best friend. Have we seen this girl before?
Yeah, since season 1.
Really? Yes. I'm like, who is this? Why have I never seen her before?
She's his best friend.
And why are they trying to push her as being his best friend? I've never seen her before.
No, she's been in so many episodes.
Okay. And you know what? I don't think I've seen every single episode.
Okay.
So maybe I just have purposely never seen that.
Because they showed the little clip from when they were like little kids in the first season, and her hair was like that looked like my hair when I was a kid. By the way, acted just a mess hair.
Oh, that's right. And his voice was even higher pitched.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but I thought it kind of brought an interesting message, saying that even though your childhood friends, as you get to high school and older, you will drift away, but when you will come in contact with them over the years, it'll be like, and I have to admit, I teared up at the end.
I did too, and I don't even talk to most of my childhood friends. I just thought it was like a sweet sentiment.
It was really sweet. It was really, and I like the scene when he messed up. Adam messed up something with his friend, and she was kind of feeling this other guy. That it was funny. They called him Shy Brian, but all the girls called him Hot Brian. I thought that was funny how they had 2 different nicknames for him. And he messed up he messed it up for them. So he goes running, and you think he's gonna he climbs up the trellis of a house at a window, and you thought it was gonna be the girl, but no, it was Brian.
Yeah.
And I thought
it was like, you gotta get back with her. I'm here to help you.
That was a sweet scene.
It was cute.
It was good. I like the message, and then of course
at the end when the actor playing Adam was talking to the real best friend, now grown up, and he's like, "Did you guys ever fall in love?" And she's like, "Nope."
No. I think she said no so many times.
Yeah.
I'm feeling like the real Adam was like, "Hey, you need to ask her this."
Yeah.
She's even like, "I'm sorry, real Adam."
I love. That's my favorite part of the show, I think, at the end where you see the videotapes from Adam's real childhood growing up. I think because now you know that these things are based on true things in his life. So I think that's why the show has such a genuine feel to it. It doesn't feel so bizarre.
Even that bizarre story with the Kanish at the spring break episode.
Yeah.
Where even they used Erica, which is not based on a real person.
Yeah.
But apparently that happened with the real Barry, where they snuck in and he was stealing it. He was microwaving a Kanish.
Yeah, that's what I love about the show. Like, like I said, there's a real truthfulness to it. And I guess that's why I feel like it captures the 80s so much, because, he really is talking about things that happened in his childhood.
Yeah. Yeah, and he does it with such a positive, happy look at it too. It's good. And what I've noticed that they've done a lot this year is not only are they showing videos and pictures of the real people, but there's a lot of interviews with them too.
I love that.
Like we've seen,
they talk to the JTP.
Yeah, the real JTP, the real Yentas. I like when we've seen the the TV Beverly talk with the real mom.
Oh, me
They're
too.
talking about like those disgusting jackets she was making.
Yes. She loved those jackets.
Yeah,
Yeah.
this week's episode, I like that. I feel like some of the characters this season, they've kind of gone overboard in their characterization. I think there's been
Yeah.
some episodes I just wanted to smack Barry and Erica and Beverly.
Mhm.
But, I mean, we're what, season 5 right now?
Yeah.
That's a long time to go on the show. And like I said, ABC already renewed it last year for this next year, too, for season 6.
Yeah.
It's got to be the
Well, this
final
will
season,
probably
right?
be their contracts will be running out.
Yeah.
You know, I maybe they'll want to stay. I don't know. I would none of them other than Wendy McLovin. What's her name? Wendy McLovin?
McClendon Levin,
McLovin.
McLovin.
She's been in some movies and stuff. I know Jeff Garland is kind of known, but he's not famous known.
Yeah,
So
he does like Curb Your Enthusiasm and stuff like that.
yeah. So I mean, I could see those two people having stuff to do. I don't know about the other three so much.
What Erica could always go back to Lakota Wright from X Factor.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. And the guy playing Adam is in his awkward stage. Is he gonna just want to stay there? Is he gonna want to go off to college? Who knows?
And that's
right?
the weird thing is like I feel like he's perfect for that role, and he's as awkwardly as he's grown up. It's worked for that.
Yeah.
But there are a lot of roles out there for him? Because I think the actor is like 18, 19.
Oh, is he already? Yeah, he still looks like he's like 16. Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, he's not a leading man person. Barry's not a leading man person. I mean, I guess the sister could go on, but she's not like, you know what I mean? She's not super hot. Like, she doesn't look like what Hollywood is always trying to push on us.
No.
So I like her. I like them all actually. I like Barry. I love the whole family. But
yeah, that's what I've liked is that I don't feel like they're all good-looking people, but they haven't cast like supermodels.
Yeah.
I think it's kind of nice. I mean, they gave him a chocolate job. Good for them. That was an interesting episode where her Erica and her roommate were like at odds, and so she kept bringing people from home, and
yeah.
But bringing Erica to college kind of brought a whole nother issue. I like how they handled it a couple episodes ago, where at one point I think it was Adam called her on the phone, and she's like, "Yeah, this is my one time. This is the only line I get. So bye," or something like that. Not gonna help you, because when you send characters to college, it's kind of hard to like incorporate them every week. Plus, you incorporate them every week into the story without it coming across as absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah, because she's at college. She can't be in every episode. It wouldn't make sense. So yeah, it's I like how they do it.
JTB.
JTB.
Yeah, then you had the color war episode. But yeah, the actor is going to be 19 at the end of May.
Okay. So I guess he's not going off to college.
he's at that age already. But yeah, the only other thing I'm confused about is Pops, the grandfather. Sometimes he's living in Philadelphia, sometimes he's in Florida. Is he a snowbird? Did they explain
snowbird.
Okay. I was just
That's
really
my guess.
But 2 weeks ago he was in Pennsylvania. Then last week he was in Florida. Now he's in Pennsylvania. It's like,
yeah.
Never mind. And I feel like obviously they're not using him as much anymore.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's still a solid show, and we're definitely getting another season. But I have a feeling that's going to be it.
I think that'll be good. They'll send Barry off to college, and who knows what will happen.
Yeah, I think that's it. And what year is Adam? Is he
I think he is he'll become, what do you call that, a junior?
A junior next year. So maybe at most, maybe one more year, and we end with his senior year.
Yeah.
Is maybe what I can see. But I think at this point, and I feel like that ponytail kid's got to be like 20 by now. So get him out of school. Get him in college.
That's what the point is. Like, he should have graduated a long time ago.
That's true. I just don't like that kid. And his girlfriend, they're the worst.
I kind of like when they just show up randomly and say shit. I don't know. Something about it. I don't want to see him in a full episode like the Rush episode. Yeah. But just sometimes he just shows up and they're like, hey.
Yeah, like why did they have to be in Erica's dorm room? Even
When
they're
they're
like,
at the
what?
party with the jacket, they're like, cool jacket.
Oh yeah, the beat it jacket.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's the Goldbergs.
Yeah.
Another sitcom that we both watch is Superstore on NBC.
Oh, I love
Currently in the middle of its
Superstore.
third season. Yeah, and I like the fact that they will always go kind of new places with their characters too. We've seen Jeff, who used to be kind of the manager. He left when he found out the truth about Mateo being an undocumented immigrant. That's a hard word for me to say. And so he left his job. No one knows why. And then they brought in this new manager last week, this female character, and then we definitely get the continuation of the Jonah, Kelly, Amy love triangle. We get Dina's currently, I assume she's still pregnant with Glenn.
She looked pregnant this week.
Oh, I did not know. She looked normal.
That was pregnant stomach. That's not her real stomach.
I didn't notice. So, but this is another one where I feel like, so now that we're in season 3, that some of the characters are starting to act a little different than normal just to kind of fit the story. Like I thought last week's episode with Glenn trying to get everybody to buy his white scarves, and I thought that was really out of character for him, and it kind of bugged me. And then he started yelling at people. I was like, "This isn't Glenn."
Glenn doesn't yell and intimidate.
Yeah, I thought that was kind of an odd choice for them. And then this week, I thought that was kind of weird for Amy to like find the new manager out on the golf course, and I'm like, that seemed kind of. I mean, granted, I guess she was being encouraged by Jonah, but
yeah.
But
I didn't like this episode only because it made me feel bad for Kelly at the end.
That was my exact note to myself.
I don't want to feel bad for Kelly. Fuck her off to somewhere else land, and I don't like her. But I felt bad for her. She's just sitting there in the dark on his.
I felt really bad for her too.
Oh, she was. So here's the thing. Jonah was like, they were joking if they won the lottery. Jonah said he'd run off and like ride a motorcycle across the world or something and travel by himself. And she's like, "Oh, what about me?" And he's like, "Oh, I was only joking when I said that." She's like, "I know." And he's like, "Well, we'll go to dinner and it'll be just you and me. You'll see, I won't forget about you."
And then we'll go back. We'll watch the Hallmark movie you're choosing.
Yeah.
Night together.
Yeah, and then so he went and helped Amy on the golf course with the new boss lady, and they ended up staying on the golf course and golfing and drinking and flirting
And of course, Kelly's sending him a message. It's like, "Hey, don't know where you are. Know nothing where you're at. Do I need to cancel the reservation?" And we see her sitting in the store all by herself, and they're turning off the lights.
It's so sad.
And I don't like Kelly at all, but I felt really bad for her. So
no one deserves that. I don't like cheaters.
No.
And I know they didn't do anything worth cheating, but that's definitely an emotional relationship.
It's totally an emotional relationship, yeah.
And you leave me sitting there on a skid in the dark, I'd be really upset too. That's so sad.
And I feel like Kelly at this point needs to just dump his ass, because I think
Kelly should know. We saw the kiss, and we saw that Amy still loves Jonah shit.
So if I were Kelly, that would be like, "Oh, look at all these signs. Maybe this isn't meant to be."
Yeah. And I'd be like, look, if I know she literally has admitted she has feelings for Jonah.
And it's obvious he's still.
Yeah, time for you to, not hang out with her.
Which I think is weird, is because I felt like we were always supposed to root for the Jonah-Amy relationship. Now I'm kind of not.
I know, because I want to root for them, but I don't like that they're doing that to a person. I mean, as much as I just like Kelly, she's still a person. She doesn't deserve that.
And granted, they haven't gone physical, and they haven't.
Yeah.
And whatever. And it's not like, I feel like Amy's not obviously doing it on purpose. She's not, I'm going to steal this away. It's kind of like a natural progression. And I don't think she's really doing anything wrong, but I just feel like at this point, I'm having a hard time rooting for them.
Yeah.
What is wrong with me? I'm feeling bad for Kelly.
I know.
Oh my God.
And the other thing I did not like about this episode, so it was the big lottery episode. And Garrett's like telling people their numbers aren't good and to stop, like, he wouldn't cash them through. That is not how anybody in the lotto world works. No. They do not care. They put your freaking card in the machine and out pops your ticket. Like, They don't care.
See, I felt that it was kind of like against his character too. He's like
Yeah.
trying to tell people not to put money in lottery, and I was like,
Yeah.
he doesn't seem like the type of person that would care. But I did kind of like the joke where this one nerd comes up to him, like, "These are my numbers," and Derek's like, "Yeah, those are the lost numbers. Get out of here." And those ended up being the actual winning numbers. The numbers
Remember when they were the Irish lotto numbers when the show was on?
Oh yes, that was so weird.
That was really weird.
That was weird. So I thought that was kind of a funny twist to the episode. But yeah, I think we've only got a handful of episodes left. I think we'll definitely see more going on with the female manager. It looks like they're gonna have to do, or when she came in, she was responsible for doing a lot more budget cuts. We lost Myrtle. Myrtle's no longer working.
That was sad too,
Myrtle. When Glenn saw her and she's like, "All I do now is collect cans for money." I'm like, "Oh, Myrtle."
I know, that was really sad.
Yeah. Oh, the episode when he had to fire her.
That was
having her drive the giant truck.
I know. I love even those little side characters are so funny on this show.
Yeah.
The guy with the boob milk. Oh my god.
Marcus. Every time I look at him now, the actor, all of a sudden I say like, do I see similarities with him and his brother Ike Barinholtz? I don't know.
Oh my god, that's his brother? He does look exactly like him.
I don't. Sometimes I've never seen it, except I saw an interview with Ike for his Blockers movie. I'm like, oh, he kind of does look like Marcus.
Oh my god! You know what? If you'd said who does he look like, well, like when you started to say look like, I was like, he looks like Ike Barinholtz. Oh my god! I didn't know. I never looked him up on IMDb.
I was watching the credits one time, and like I saw like so and so Barinholtz as Marcus. I'm like,
is his name Mike Barinholtz? That'd be funny. Mike and Ike.
Mike and Ike. I don't think so. I think it starts with a J, but I'm not. Not 100% sure.
His parents dropped the ball there.
But yeah, then you've got, of course, the greatest Superstore character, Sandra. Her and her feud with Carol, the worst.
Oh my god, I love them. I love everybody on that show. I'm telling you.
Justine.
Oh my god, I love Justine.
They do a really good job.
Justine of the world.
I feel like the side characters are better than more interesting than a lot of the main characters. I'm mainly looking at you, Cheyenne.
I'd love to have an episode where, like, you know, they just follow, what's his name, Elias? They always talk about that old guy, Elias, and like followed him through his day. Like, what he does at home when he's like a serial killer or something.
Yeah, or an episode where like all the main characters are sick, and so we have like Sandra running the store with Justine and Marcus.
Oh my god, that would just be amazing. Even the douchey pharmacist. You know what I mean? Like, they have some good characters on there.
There are. That's why I'm not feeling the new boss lady. They do such a good job of bringing in these characters that I'm not sure I'm feeling her.
Well, we'll see.
She'll
have a quirk. We haven't seen her with any real quirks yet.
Yeah, that's true. His name is John Barinholtz.
Okay.
So we have a few minutes left. We'll go ahead and talk about this week's Survivor. And we talked about it last week, but this was a big week because this was our merge week. And I feel like the merge episode is always a big episode because I feel like most of the time it will kind of show you where the rest of the season is going to go. And I like it when you go in like not knowing who the merge boot's going to be. This one, kind of that way. Were you expecting the boot to be who?
We knew that the showdown was coming between Dom and Chris.
Yes.
So, I mean, good chance of one of those two going, but, you know, you always hope it's somebody else.
Yeah, you had Dom and Chris have their feud start like minute one from the very first minute of the episode. They started their little feud, so they're always at each other's throats. And always, so you knew eventually it was going to come to a head, which I thought was interesting, which I never even realized that this was Chris's first tribal council. He had avoided.
I didn't notice that either. He's been on every winning tribe.
He was on the losing tribe once, but that was when he was sent to Ghost Island.
Oh, that's right. The first or second episode.
Yeah. And they wanted, I think it was the first, when they first switched, when they first did the tribe merge, they wanted to get rid of Chris. Dom, of course, wanted to get rid of Chris, but Chris was out at Ghost Island. And then that's when they wanted Angela, but the other tribe was like, no, let's get this random Morgan girl out there.
That's
which was
right.
pretty interesting boot. So Chris, they all got their new buffs, and Chris is like, I was sitting here and I felt my buff felt kind of weird. So he looked at the buff and there was a note saying go to Tree Mail. So he goes to Tree Mail, and it's like, oh, you found a clue for a hidden immunity idol, but it's hidden on Ghost Island. So what you have to do is, if you want to go for this tonight, while everybody's sleeping, meet us at the beach. You have to take a boat to Ghost Island. You'll get the idol there, then come back, and you've got to make sure nobody sees you. Which I think was kind of an interesting way to do that.
Yeah.
He's got to get up in the middle of the night and got to leave, and he's gone for like an hour or so. And that was kind of cool. They had all the cool lighting at Ghost Island. He goes, he gets the idol, but then they're like, it was JT's old idol. I was never a big JT fan.
No.
And he had to then play a game of chance if he wanted. That idol was only going to be good for the next tribal council, only for one tribal council. But if he wanted to play a game of chance, he could try and make that powerful for more tribal councils. Yeah. And because he's cocky, he's like, of course I'm going to do this. Even though I think he should have just let it be and just been guaranteed safety for 1 week.
But yeah, he is cocky. He's arrogant. He's another one of these guys that perceive himself to be more popular than he is in a group.
Mm-hmm.
So he thought that people disliked Dom as much as he disliked Dom, and they would easily vote Dom out. You know, not seeing the game, not seeing the long game, right? He's trying to make his idol more popular. And I get it. I would do that too, honestly. I would have gone for it. Because his vote wasn't going to make a difference anyway.
Yeah, it was a 50-50 shot. And I think he would have been better off in his position if he got the no vote first.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because then he would have had to play his idol. He would have been okay. So in his first 50-50, he got 1 more week. His second chance, he got the no vote. So his idol would only be good for that tribal council and the next tribal council.
Yeah.
And then, so that was that. And then, of course, Dom had an idol. Wendell has an idol. Dom had the legacy advantage. So Dom had like all this stuff to back him up.
Yeah.
And then at the immunity challenge, it was one of these balanced ones, which I would have sucked at. That looked hard.
You know, the problem with these balanced one is guys very rarely win them because women have lower center of gravity. That's why they usually do Weller.
Yeah, and of course, I think the last 3 or 4 were all the girls.
Yeah.
In that challenge. And one of the girls won. I'm not sure which one it was. Oh, Kellen, maybe? It was.
Yeah, it was that Kellen one.
And then so we go, then when they get back from the tribal council, Chris gets everybody but Wendell and Dom to the water and is like, look, this is what we're doing. We're voting Dom. They're like, yeah, sure, Chris, cool, we'll do that.
And of course, Donathan and Laurel, who are aligned with Dom, run right back.
Right.
And Donathan's telling him, like, Dom's like, oh, no, that's not. And he's like, no, don't say anything. He's like, I'm going to go ask these people. He's like, no, don't say anything.
So it comes to tribal time and tribal council. And, of course, Dominic plays his legacy advantage, which is good to get that out of the way, which gives him immunity. At that second, Chris should have been like, well, might as well play this to be safe.
Minute Dom played his idol, like, I could see being confident, but the minute Dom played his idol, he should have thought, you know what, there's still a chance that I don't have all these votes, and I could still have more votes than Mark, is it his name? No, Wendell. The other chance, because Wendell was who they thought was going to go home if Dom did not.
Yeah, so in Chris's head, the plan was to split the votes between Dom and Wendell.
Yeah.
Some of the women talked about voting out Libby. So when it came time to the final vote tally, Chris did not play his idol, which he really should have. And it was 1 vote for Dom, 1 vote for Dom, right? Which was Chris's vote.
Yes, Chris's vote.
2 votes for Libby, and the rest of them were for
Chris. I thought it was 3 for Libby, wasn't it?
2 or 3.
For some reason, I thought it was 3.
Maybe 3.
Okay.
But not a lot. And then the rest of them were for Chris. And he got voted out. It would have been Libby if he played his idol. And he obviously would have gone home next week if he didn't have immunity. But still, you're 1 more week in the game. And
I bet you next week will be a challenge that he could have won too.
Yeah, because then sometimes at first...
It's a puzzle.
He wasn't... The Joel McHale show had fun with him. Because what I didn't notice this week, I didn't notice instead of suave, he said suave.
Oh, did he?
And
I didn't even
missed that. I
either.
totally missed that. But on the Joel McHale show this morning, they showed a clip. He's like, yeah, I'm so suave. I'm like, oh my God. Because he had that other...
It's like Rico Suave. That's probably the only time he's heard that word.
He's not the brightest bulb in the bunch. And I want to like him, but he just came across as so cocky that
But he's eye candy now. He's gone now. I only have my jailbait crush.
But you'll still see him every week at trial because he's going to be the first jury.
And he'll be showered and clean looking.
He'll be showered and clean, and he won't look like he has flies flying around him, and he's super smelly. And then we'll see. So yeah, last week we talked about our predictions. I predicted Wendell. I'm still feeling confident about that.
For the win?
Yeah, for the win.
Yeah, I mean he has a good shot. A good shot.
I think you can do it. I just feel like at this point we're going to get Dom controlling the game for the next several weeks.
I don't know, but the problem with Wendell is people see them as a tight duo. So Wendell either needs to turn on Dom or, do something.
It does look like they are. If you were to include them as a 4, it does look like you could include Laurel and Donathan as that 4.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and then I saw some sort of Instagram this week where apparently, was there a girl named Jenna this year?
Maybe.
I don't know. Apparently, Sebastian's dating some girl named Jenna from Survivor, and it was posting on Instagram the two of them like kissing and all together. I'm like,
that's the one I think he was flirting with. She's older, I think.
Oh, he's gross. He's disgusting. I don't know much about her, but he's just weird.
Oh, he's so rancid looking. Ugh.
Maybe he can go home next week, please.
Yeah, I'm be okay with him leaving soon. Well, he doesn't talk to the camera too much.
That's true. Because you're like, ah! The camera would like. And we know unless Michael pulls a Chris, he's safe next week.
Yeah.
So he's got his own idol. So yeah, maybe he'll win immunity, and then hopefully, because he's definitely, I'm rooting for him.
Yeah, he's my favorite. Him and Donathan are my favorites right now with Laurel. But nobody's talking about. I mean, people brought up Michael's name last week, but he wasn't the main person they were after. So
yeah, it seemed like they wanted to get rid of Libby before Michael.
Yeah. Well, I think people like Michael at least. A lot of people don't like Libby.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing is when you're on that show, I would have a hard time doing this. You just gotta be nice to other people.
And the girls want to get stuff going, but obviously one person didn't follow the plan, so there'll be some mistrust against them too. So
yeah, I think that would have been fascinating.
Yeah.
But that's one more week of Chris versus Dom. At least we can move on to a new storyline.
Exactly.
So yeah, that's Survivor, and then later in May we will get the finale of Ghost Island. So we'll see what happens.
I'll be glad to see the end of Ghost Island, but I've been liking the season.
Yeah, it's been a pretty good season. I feel like the Ghost Island gimmick is weak. It's weak. It's XL Island with a game on it.
Yeah, exactly.
So we'll see. Maybe they'll. I did kind of like.
Ghosts don't get me. Oh my God,
Donovan. Hey, Donovan. Yeah, I did like that they used it for Chris to get his immunity idol.
Oh yeah, he just happened to get an idol.
Of course, when he needed it.
Yeah. Well, that'll be the end of the show. Thanks for listening. I'll be back tomorrow with Arthur and Ryan, and I'll be back next week with Justin. So have a good week.
Have a good one. Thank you.
Bye.